What's going on, everyone? Alliance Orc here, and welcome back to another YouTube video. And at the time of recording this video, it is actually my birthday. And I wanted to do something special for my birthday. So, as many of you know, we just recently got the Heritage armor for the, let me find it, don't tell me, the Trolls and the Drani. Now, if you're good with math and you're a hard worker like I am, you will know that we have every single heritage unlock except for Pandaren, Drakthir, and the later coming Iron Dwarves. So with that being said, I wanted to go through and personally rank the heritage armors, each one and why I feel they are where they belong. And subscribe if you enjoy, because this is going to be just personal. I want to do something fun, relaxing, you know. Let me know what you think your favorite heritage armor is. And starting off at the dead rock bottom, I am giving it to the Drani. Garbage. Just, I try to find a reason to like this, but I can't. I just can't do it, y'all. It's so ugly. The belt doesn't even match. The helm is hideous, but every helm is hideous with the heritage sets. Like, there's barely a good helm. Like, there's just, I just don't see a redeeming factor for this heritage set. I wish I could defend it, but it is just the worst one and the newest one. The one thing I will give the Drani heritage quest line is it does give you a Hearthstone toy that Drani and Lightforged Drani can use. Since it's still relatively new, I figure that should be info that you should know. Like, if you play a Lightforged, this Hearthstone can be used. And it's actually a pretty cool one, if I do say so myself. And just keep in mind, what I'm about to say about the next one tells you how bad this Drani heritage set is. But up next, we have the Dwarfs. So, the Dwarf Heritage, yeah, I can get behind it. Might of the Mountain and everything. For Cosmodon, yada yada, but it's so freaking bland. Like, I get it, it's a simple dwarf mog, it does what it's supposed to do, but there's really just nothing that exciting about this heritage set that really just wows me. I mean, yeah, the shoulders are cool, but there's hundreds of other cool shoulder seats. I don't think I've seen anyone like happily roll around in Dwarf Heritage once the new toy factor wore off. And I don't know, I just feel like they could have, I don't know, just, I don't know, something. It just feels like it needs that something to just push it up, to give it that extra oomph. You know, it's missing something. That's the best way of saying it. Moving on beyond the dwarfs, though, we have the human heritage. Now, bear in mind, the human heritage does come in 3 different colors. So it does have that leeway going for it. And the shoulders look pretty spot on. As always, helm is ugly as sin. But I mean, it's smooth, it's crisp, I like it, you know, but compared to the others, it just leaves a lot more to be desired, I guess. It's still a very good set. Obviously, knowing that I forgot to change the belt before recording this, but it's okay, it's just a small thing. Like, I like the human heritage, it's nice and all, but like I said, there's just others that are better. And going on to the next one over that is the Dark Iron Dwarf set. So, I'm just going to say it. I like this set for the reason of the fact of many people use flaming weapons or flaming illusion for their weapons, you know? This transmog complements that. This heritage set just benefits it, and it just works. You know, you could put like flaming daggers on this rogue and call it a day, because voila, you're now a blazing assassin out to make everyone burn from the inside out. You know, it's simple, but you know, it's doing the thing. And then the next one up, we have the Vulpera Heritage. So this heritage I like because so one thing I gotta admit, unique capes always get bonus points with me. And this one is no exception. You get this cute little basket. You got the whole theme of what the Vulpera is going for here, and travelers and explorers, and that's why I like it as much as I do. But at the same time, I don't know, I just, it does what it's supposed to do, more or less, but it needs that wow factor for me. And that's what a lot of these first few have been lacking, is that wow factor. I mean, it's the simple explorer traveler vibe, and I get that. But, you know, it's there, but, you know, moving on up, a lot of them are going to get a lot better. And next we have my Druid, my main. Yes, this is how critical I'm being on this. My main is this far down. The Worgen Transmog would be higher up if they didn't make that Reclamation Guild Naesis symbol that literally anyone can use. Because the Worgens, you know, if you've done the Worgen Start Zone, you know, they're essentially just noblemen or women who have been cursed by the curse of the Warg. And this Mog, even the top hat, I'm even giving it on the top hat, even though it's ugly, this Mog screams noblemen. I just wish they would fix the you know, this. I wish they would fix this with a lot of the other helms. Please, someone, anyone. It's my main, for crying out loud. But yeah, I feel like the Worgens, it's the nobleman vibe, you know, and I wish I could show the human side of it, but I can't. But, you know, not much else to say, but... And then we have the Mechanomes. The Mechanomes are cursed with the unfortunate way of their hands and their feet, and I think even their pants, cannot be transmogged, which makes this class so very difficult to get a good transmog going with. But the Heritage set does just that. I mean, yeah, every Mechanome you're going to see is going to basically look the same if they have the Heritage set, because it's the only thing that goes with the bionic look. But it looks good, and I remember seeing it and thinking, yeah, this is right. I like this. This is how it should look. Part of me wanted King Mechagon's look, but I mean, maybe in another patch we'll get that. You never know. And then moving right along, we have the Zarandalari Trollin symbol. Also, if you're noticing a theme in weapon transmogs here, I am very sorry, but I really love that scythe. The Zarandalari transmog, so we've been seeing Zarandalari long before they were even given an option to us as a playable race. And the Zarandalari Heritage really does exactly what the Zarandalari trolls have always looked like. The face mask, the shoulders, the troll skulls all around, you know. It really does drive home that Zarandalari factor. And I'm okay with that, you know. Yeah, you can find a few other good tiki masks in like Throne of Thunder, Zul'Gurub, Zolaman. You can find good things like that to counterplay and match this. But if you're looking at it from just a raw heritage, it looks good and I like it. Moving on to the Ctian. Hey, surprise, no scythe. I like the Ctian transmog so much because I don't know why, there's just something about captaining your looking like an actual captain that I just love to do sometimes. And the Ctian transmog really does just that. Like, I see this guy out at sea and I'm just like, bro, this guy's about to kick my butt in. And I really just I have always loved how the Ctian transmog set looked, and I leveled one so quickly whenever they first became a thing. Look down here to my old neglected big old Chungus. But that's neither here nor there. Big Chungus is doing his thing. But Ctians have always been one of my more favored races, just because of how they look. So it's probably a little bit of unfair bias, but I just love it. And then next up, the High Mountain Tauren. Again, it's just there. So I do have one gripe about this, and my one gripe is the cape. The two totems, I wish they would have done like they've been doing with the trading post capes and kind of had like the merged together totems instead of having them look like they're just like stuck together by tape, because that's literally what this looks like, and I'm not gonna lie. But aside from that, the rest screams High Mountain. Like, look at the background and then look at this guy and tell me he doesn't belong here. Like, this man, he is High Mountain. And like even the totems, like, you could have given this to them as a cape and it would have worked. It probably made me rank it higher, honestly. Moving on up, we have the Goblin Heritage. So I placed this one this high for one reason and one reason only. Kaboom. This set is explosive. You got TNT here. You got the rocket here. You got the little grenades on the saddle belt. You know, got some spikes on the glove. Like, everything about this works. And I love the helm as well. The helm is as goblin as helms can get. Like, this is an engineering helm. Even if you were to change the entire other transmog, the helm alone would be worth keeping. Now, I wish they would add like an option to like put the glasses up, because that would make it look, the diversity would be like really good in my opinion. But yeah, just, I love how goblins have always had the blow stuff up aesthetic, and this transmog does just that. This heritage, it's goblin. It screams goblin. And now we're going on to a fan favorite, the Void Elf. The Void Elf heritage has long been regarded by many as to be a beautiful, beautiful transmog set. Minus the helm. Like I said, a lot of these have real stinkers for helms. And honestly, contrary to what you might think, the chest is what gives these wing illusions. And the boots are just beautiful. Yeah, there's really no way to interweave these pieces that well, unless you're a specific class. But the Void Elf heritage is beautiful. In every way, it's beautiful, and I'm absolutely a fan of it. And now we move on to the Hunter, or my bad, the Gnome heritage. So much like with the Goblin heritage, but with the reverse, my biggest real gripe is really that you can't have an option to bring the goggles down. If you could, I think this set would look so much better. Just having that Gizmo look, because that is Gnome. Gnome is Gizmo, and they even got the faction pride on the cape. You can't go wrong with that. And the cape right here warps the illusion that it's a scarf when that purple part is really the chest piece. Beautiful, and absolutely beautiful. beautiful piece, but not as beautiful as the Magar Orc Heritage. Oh, where do I go with this one? I love how this looks. I love how Magar Heritage, literally the other three pieces, they're all clan based. Your skin designs for customization, all clan based. They nailed it when they made Magar Heritage, because literally the way these look and the way you can just pride clan it out, I love it. And this is like the shoulders are just, even the helm for this one. You know what? No. We're doing a last second change, because there is no way that this is worse than this. I'm sorry. I made a last second change. I don't regret it. The Magar Heritage has always been just a favorite of mine, and even the helm works unlike this. Because once again, the helm doesn't work. It looks awkward, but everything else, so much Sindorai pride. I love how it looks, and the fact you can customize chest or dress depending on what class you play or how you want to look really gives the Blood Elves the edge against a lot of these previous entries. Because a lot of these other previous entries, they have just one look and that's it. But the Blood Elves, if you want to be a caster, wear a dress. If you want to be a warrior, wear a tunic or whatever. If you want to be a warrior in a dress, be a warrior in a dress. We ain't judging out here. It's 2024, baby. Anywho, I explained that already. Now moving on to the Warrior Heritage. So, Warrior Heritage is this high up because, in my opinion, it does, or not Orc Heritage, not Warrior Heritage. It does what the Magar Orc Heritage does, but better. And you still have the extra options. But like, look at this shoulder. And if I'm correct, you could put this shoulder and the tusks of Manaroth on this shoulder, and you just look like an absolute savage. This literally, like, I think my one gripe is this random thorn in your chest. But aside from that, this is one of my, like, all-time favorite heritages. It's just I never level an orc because Magar work better. Do I got an unfair bias yet, or are you guys gonna roast me about that? But moving on, we have the High Mountain Tauren heritage. Now, what drove me so hard to get this heritage? That. You can't tell me that when you saw that humongous totem as a cape transmog, that didn't just fire you up to level a Tauren as fast as it did. Like, I could care less about the rest of this mog, but the totem, that is like top 2 capes ever. Like, you cannot tell me that totem isn't clean. I mean, everything else looks nice. Like, you got the little ribcage chest piece, and yeah, you got the cool bird shoulders, but look at the totem. And this totem works with any transmog. It's literally just a huge totem, especially for shamans. But I'm sorry, yeah, it's the cape, but Blizzard has just recently started really expanding on the capes. And I feel like the totem cape for the Tauren heritage was the biggest success they could have done. And I'm just so biased towards it because of just how much I love it. Literally any Tauren I play, I always have that as my cape. Any Tauren, it doesn't matter what class or spec I'm playing. If I have a cape on, it's always the totem. Every single time. And then moving on, we have my very first heritage set I ever acquired in the Lightforged Drani. The Lightforged Drani Heritage really brings home what Turalian's army was doing on Argus and fighting the Legion. Like, especially as a paladin, you are the holy warrior. You are the light of justice, and this heritage really brings that home. I love how it looks. It's noble, it's strong, and I've never seen a heritage set of maroon, gray, and gold work so well together. I love it. And like I said, might be a wee bit of bias because this was my first ever heritage set I went for. I wanted this one first because I loved it that much. To this day, I still love it. And now we have the top four. The top four, we have Troll. I know a lot of you are probably screaming at me, how could you put Troll over everything else with that hideous cape? Look, they all have hideous capes, except for a very select few. If you look past the Troll, not cape, helm. If you look past the Troll helm, everything else, it just works. It's oh my god. It's Darkspear. Darkspear forever. And I love how it looks. I love, like, especially with the fact that such a low-level shield like this matches so beautifully, and you get a two-handed sword as a reward from the quest line. I don't know how that works with other classes that can't use a two-handed sword, but it just, I was kind of skeptical at first with the heritage set, but after seeing how it looks, it really does scream Darkspear, and I am such a fan of it, and that's why it is number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have the Blood Elf Heritage, or the Night Elf Heritage. I'm sorry. The Night Elf Heritage has been teased since Battle for Azeroth, when we saw the Night Elves invading Nazmir. And when we finally got it, boy, it did not disappoint. And the white recolor is just as good, if not better. And if you want to know how to get that white recolor Night Elf Heritage set, I have a video for it already on the channel. Just go ahead and just search it up. It's one of my older videos, but it's still there. But the Night Elf Heritage, it's always been a favorite of mine. Maybe not the red one per se, but the white one definitely is. And now we move on to the last two, which if you been keeping track of the races in Tally Mark, and you know who they are, and that is Undead. When I got the Undead Heritage, it was like a little bit into me coming back. I heard that the Undead had gotten Heritage, and I had gone right in for it. I could not have been prepared for what I was about to see, though. The Poison Vial Belt, the Executioner Mask, which, for the record, works unrealistically well with rogues. Like, I love how it just, like, kind of hides off your face, and, like, from far off, all you see is just a black shadow in there. You can't even see the eyes. Hell, you can take the eye sockets out, and you just see nothing but darkness. And then the cape. It's a mother frickin' coffin, bro. Like, seriously. Look at this thing. And the frickin' surgical tools as well on the belt. Like, bro, you can't go wrong with this. This is definitely one of the... Anyone who says this is not a good heritage set is blind. But the best heritage set by far is Nightborne. Why is it Nightborne, you ask? Because it does what Nightborne is supposed to do, and unlike every other heritage set in this list, the Nightborne heritage set has one thing going for it that none of the others do. And if you've talked to the Legion Time Walking vendor, you know what that something is. The Nightborne are the only heritage class to get supporting weapons for their heritage set, which you can only buy from the Time Walking vendor when Legion Time Walking is up. You can get a sword, you can get a shield, you can get a bow, you can get a one-handed sword. Like, they gave Nightborne full weapon support for their heritage. No other class has gotten that. I think the closest we have gotten is Troll, and that's just with a shield. So I mean, Nightborne, in my opinion, is what takes it for me, and is by far one of the best heritage, or is the best heritage set in the game. It's good. The helm doesn't suck. They have full weapon support. It looks good. It screams arcane. So if you're a mage, you're just vibing with a whole mood right now. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and just wrap this video up. Feel free to comment down below and let me know how wrong I am about how I ranked these. Let me know who you think has the best heritage set, and maybe we'll revisit this whenever Pandas and Dracthy are getting their heritage set. But with all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I am the Alliance Orc, and I will see you guys next time.